I'll never forget, I was listening to Dr. Ben Carson years ago tell his story. He's a great neurosurgeon. He's now in politics. But he told a story that really impressed me. He became a neurosurgeon and a head neurosurgeon at the age of 33 thereabouts, one of the topmost in the world. Oh, he split the first Siamese twins joined in the head. That's phenomenal. And this is what he said. And I heard him say it because this was somewhere in the 90s. I was going to be interviewed on a TV station in the US, and he was in the studio sharing his story. I was in the green room listening to this guy, didn't know who he was, and he was telling this phenomenal story. And I was so blown away. At that time, I had just written my first book, which is based on what I'm talking about today. And I was going to just be interviewed after him. So he gave me a good introduction for what I'll say later. But what he said was this. He said many times he would be in the theater. And he said, before we prep people for theater, we do all the scans, we do all the x-rays. But he said, invariably, you open somebody's brain and you will just discover something that no x-ray showed you. I said, whoa, is that so? So the doctors sometimes will open your brain and they don't know what to look for? That is not a comforting thought at all. I don't know about you, but that's the kind of thing you hear and you say, whoa, I'm never going to the hospital. You open my brain and you don't know what to look for. There are two options. He closes it, or he'll say, let me go to my notes and do research. By the time he comes back, the story would have changed. But this is what Dr. Carson said from his experience. He says, many times, I don't think every time, but I'm sure a couple of times it had happened. He said, I will open somebody's brain and we would encounter something that no test prepared us for. And then he said something that really blessed me. He said, somehow I will stand there and out of me, inside me, will come a new knowledge of how to solve that problem. And I will use that new knowledge and I will solve the problem. Why? What he says, something on the inside of me, it is God's ability in him. It is God's investment into everybody. You don't even need to be a believer to have it. Once you are a human being on this planet, God invests that into you because his command to you is to be fruitful. And he says, I will produce out of me and solve a problem. All of us will clap and say, what a brilliant doctor. But he didn't learn it from a book. A person whose only source of knowledge is from a book is limited in operation. If your lawyer, all that he knows about law is what he learns in a book, then when he's out there defending you and they ask him a question, examine the witness, and they throw him a curved ball and he doesn't know what to do, he'll say, my Lord, I need to go and reference. But if he is operating based on a gift, a seed, an ability, out of him shall flow. Because God created man to operate from the inside out, not from the outside in. If we're going to solve Africa's problem, we have to stop moving people outside of their seed. Because, you know, we Africans, we love education and we love degrees. The higher they are, the hotter the water boils. We love our degrees. So people go and pursue prestigious things, but there's no sense of intuitive creativity with them because they're just pursuing a fruit that has no seed. B.